One Zambia, one nation, a warm welcome to Zanis News, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Trust Pemba alongside my sign language interpreter, Joas Shikombwe. The headlines. Government to engage suppliers of solar equipment on task incentives. Government building houses for social cash transfer beneficiaries. Plus, the Drug Enforcement Commission in Wapula destroys cannabis. The news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has tasked providers of alternative sources of energy to pass down the benefit of the task waiver on solar equipment to the beneficiaries. President Hichilema, who was speaking during a press briefing at State House yesterday, also disclosed that government will introduce the Open Access Initiative, which will allow for the purchase of excess energy from solar energy. President Hichilema says the drought that the country experienced has created a serious energy deficit and assured the nation that everything is under control. In his address, the head of state addressed issues of national unity, corruption, economic recovery, rule of law, and disaster emergence, among others.
I think the issue now is to check. We need to engage those that are involved in the business of alternative energy, such as solar. I think that's what you're talking about primarily. We know what the prices were before the taxes were removed. So we now need to sit down with them that why have they not dropped the prices? There could be other reasons we don't know, but it could be also opportunism to make more money because they now know that there's need for, if you like, for more of these sources of energy. And we will establish what the reason is. Definitely colleagues are here, Cabinet Office, State House, ministers. We have to engage those colleagues. What is the issue? Because the relief is supposed to go to the intended beneficiaries, who are the consumers, the people who buy those applications or sources of energy. Thank you for that question. We'll log in an action point there to meet all those dealers, at least established dealers, and have a conversation. We want to see a price reduction. What else has pushed the price? Ceteris paribus, other things being equal, we expect the price to come down. So thank you for that observation. And I want to encourage citizens, any other citizen, do what Sarah has just done so that we can now interrogate those issues. The charcoal issue is not an option because it will further exacerbate the climate damage. I'm not sure whether charcoal is cheaper. Again, we have to interrogate that. Frankly speaking, there are options coming for cooking now. Gas, more efficient stoves, Sarah, using minimum energy, but higher efficiency, cooks quicker. We need the cooperation of the public. In fact, there are institutions that are even giving free stoves, isn't it? Cylinders and gas and stoves which are more efficient. I think colleagues, ministers, cabinet, PSCs, all of us, we need to take that as a guidance note to engage those as well so that we can promote, market alternative cooking methods and save our carbon assets, carbon sinking assets, such as our forests. Part of the challenge we have with the rain pattern is goes where deforest, basically we're cutting trees rampantly. As you know, trees help you in the ecosystem to stabilize the rains.
And President Hakainde Hichilema has called for deepened relations between Zambia and Japan as the two countries commemorate 60 years of bilateral ties. President Hichilema said this when JICA President Achishko Takanaka paid a courtesy call on him at State House today. Mwangala Kapandu has more in this report.
President Hakainde Hichilema has called for deepened relations with the Japanese and Zambian governments, focusing on key areas of collaboration in the energy, health, agriculture, technology, infrastructure development, among others. President Hichilema further shared his vision of the country through economic transformation and expansion with the view of growing the economy for job creation. Mr. Hichilema said this when Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA, President Tanaka Akihiko paid a courtesy call on him at State House today.
Drive for the economic expansion is anchored on the understanding that we need the infrastructure backbone to allow, and I like the word you used, to facilitate businesses for them to see viability, because we have roads, access roads, we have energy basic infrastructure, but also I want to focus on the water harvest. Because of the drought now, we have a clear, serious need, JICA President, for the water harvest. We do have drought, yes, but we know the rains will come. When the rains come someday, we should be able to harvest that rain.
And JICA President Dr. Akihiko said investment is key for any country to develop. The two countries are commemorating 60 years of bilateral ties.
You have to put a lot of money to solve these issues. But I think in many cases for smallholders, simply giving cash doesn't change situation. And then this ECOPC, community-based smallholder irrigation projects are really, attuned to the needs with effective solutions and increasing income. And so I would really like to thank the Ministry of Agriculture for the support and expanding this type projects. I think based on these activities, I'm really planning to sell this type of activities in other countries.
At the same occasion, Minister of Health Sylvia Masewo appreciated the support the Japanese government has rendered in the health sector.
And Your Excellency, Japan is the health sector is very, very developed. And since you yourself, Your Excellency, has already decentralized our primary health care to the district, I'd like to also, through Your Excellency, ask that it would really help if the JICA can continuously help us to strengthen our health systems, to make our systems better, and to be able to give quality health care, which His Excellency has declared as an emergency by asking us to ensure that all our health centers, he wants them upgraded by including a maternity annex.
And Minister of Agriculture Mutolo Piri said the sector is looking forward to enhanced irrigation systems to facilitate for small-scale farmers and also the need for exploration in the energy sector.
ECOBIS, where we have enhanced irrigation to small-scale farmer to a tune of close to 2,000 hectares. And picking on what you said, Your Excellency, that is an area I will emphasize tomorrow at our meeting, because it is now a national program, irrigation, small-scale farmers, to uplift them. Because in Zambia, irrigation has only been for the large-scale farmers.
To amplify the collaboration between the two countries, Minister of Information and Media, Cornelius Mwetwa, appreciated the support the country has benefited, citing the mass media complex which was built by the Japanese government.
Speaking, for instance, in terms of development, Mr. President, no country can develop without information dissemination. And the mass media complex, which is the backbone of Zambia's broadcasting services, was built by the Japanese, and that has been the backbone through which governments in the last 6 decades of Zambia's existence has relied on to communicate to the public, to share information, to educate, and to be really the foundation upon which government has been able to interact with its citizenry for the country to be a going concern. So we're very grateful that they have come in this very special year where we are actually celebrating 60 years of Zambia's independence as well.
For Zanis News, Mwangala Kapandola reporting in Lusaka.
The Ministry of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, in partnership with the Japan International Cooperation Agency, has launched the Kaizen training aimed at empowering 32 micro and small enterprises. Minister of Small and Medium Enterprises Development, Elias Mbanga, says the small and medium enterprise sector has great potential to contribute to the economy of the country and further. Mr. Mbanga since pledged full support to SMEs in the country. Shelika Chavalengula filed in this report.
These men and women represent 32 micro and small enterprises that have been selected to undergo a 3-day Kaizen training. The training is a joint partnership between government and the Japanese International Cooperation Agency, JICA.
We are going through a very difficult time as a country, and in terms of our economy, and we need the SME sector. We need the SME sector to stand with this government and work together. Now, the SME sector in Zambia is huge, and I want to stand with you and give you support. I have to urge all of you participants in this seminar to approach this opportunity with an open mind and a willingness to embrace change. Let us seize this opportunity and this moment to cultivate the culture of excellency within our businesses to unlock their full potential as the engine of the economic progress and growth.
The ministry, in partnership JICA, have developed this program to support the growth of these 32 finalist members' manufacturing sector based on the micro and small enterprises and the corporates from Eastern, Copperbelt, and the Lusaka provinces. The empowerment program is being implemented as a business accelerator.
And one of the beneficiaries of the program, Bernard Chwala, had this to share.
We are into avocado production and avocado value addition. So on the value addition, we produce avocado oil that is used for cooking. We can also use for various other products like making soap, lotion, and hair oil. Where we are hoping that through the Kaizen training we are going through, we'll be helped in terms of linkages, market linkages, but also in terms of scaling up our operation. We've been financing our operation organically, and so I hope that through this initiative, we'll be able to access well-priced capital to expand our enterprise.
Shilika Chabalengula for Zanis in Lusaka.
And in environment news, Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo says government is committed to restoring the environment to combat climate change and building drought resistance mechanism. Mr. Matambo says his office is coordinating with the mining sector and the local authorities on the Copperbelt in various programs aimed at protecting the environment. He was speaking during the commemoration of the World Environmental Day in Luansha District under the theme Accelerating Land Restoration for Drought Resilience. Details in this report.
Amid drought challenges, the Copperbelt community united to commemorate the World Environment Day with a focus on drought resilience. Copperbelt Minister Elisha Matambo, who was represented by his permanent secretary, graced the event, which featured tree planting and an exhibition from stakeholders.
Our country has just experienced one of the driest agricultural seasons in more than 30 years. It will certainly not be prudent to choose to ignore the detrimental impacts of drought on land and ecosystems, livelihood, the economy, and the environment. Therefore, let me take this opportunity to call on all and every citizen of the Copperbelt province to rise and take an active part in contributing to the restoration of ecosystem in our province.
The mining community emphasized environmental stewardship.
There's a broader aspect of environmental restoration that is covered under the Environmental Protection Fund. All mining houses are supposed to ensure that they do progressive rehabilitation, and also to have a provision for mine closure, so that at the time of closure, government will have enough financial provision to ensure that the land is restored to original state. So we do contribute actively to the Environmental Protection Fund.
The event, which attracted participants from schools, underscores the need for collective responsibility to protect and restore the environment. Karen Mshenywa, Zanis, Luansha.
Meanwhile, Minister of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tawo Kawana has commended the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, for taking a step in championing climate awareness in light of the effects of climate change. Mr. Kawana said it is important that the society, especially young people, are aware about environmental issues and act to protect the country against climate change. He said this in a speech read on his behalf by the Minister of Human Resource Director Bernard Domingo during a tree planting exercise at Kalingalinga Primary School to mark this year's commemoration of World Environment Day. Details in this report.
The Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, in collaboration with the Ikoi Foundation, has today embarked on a journey to plant 100 fruit trees. Kalingalinga Primary School is the first school to benefit from the exercise. This move by the IBA has cheered the Ministry of Information and Media.
Allow me to commend the Independent Broadcasting Authority, IBA, for taking a step forward and joining government and various organizations in championing climate change awareness, given the adverse effects that we have already had. As we approach the World Environment Day, which falls tomorrow, it is important to remember the crucial role that each of us plays in safeguarding our planet for the future generation. It is important that as young people, you are aware about environment issues and take action to protect the country against the climate change.
We embark on this noble endeavor to plant 100 fruit trees, each symbolizing our collective responsibility to nature and protect our natural world. I wish to assure you that the authority will continue to drive to contribute towards climate resilient efforts by planting more trees across the country.
In light of this global climate crisis, stakeholder collaboration is vital in our fight against climate change. By working together, government bodies, private sectors, civil society organizations, and education institutions will amplify our impact.
And Kalingalinga Primary School head teacher Richard Joma had this to share.
These trees will not only mitigate the climate challenges that we have in our country, but will also add value to the nutrition of our children, our learners. These trees will not only benefit the learners that are here today, but even those that will come to this school in the future.
The tree planting exercise comes ahead of the World Environment Day commemorations to be held on June 5, 2024, under the theme Land Restoration, Desertification and Drought Resilience. Shilika Chabalengula for Zanis in Lusaka.
Government is constructing 50 houses in Central Province at a total cost of 22.5 million kwacha for beneficiaries of the Social Cash Transfer Scheme. Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Wanakampwe has inspected 11 of the houses being built in Mkushi district. We take a look at this report.
Aged and vulnerable, Felita Mkolwe has been benefiting from the Social Cash Transfer Scheme in Mkushi district. A widow with 4 children and a number of grandchildren, Felita has been benefiting from the government social protection program since 2016. To further assist this woman and 11 others who are extremely vulnerable and without proper accommodation, government is building houses.
They don't have proper accommodation, and the houses where they were staying were falling apart. Therefore, their names were recommended that they become beneficiaries of the 12 houses in the district.
The contractor, Saints General Dealers, says 95% of the works have been completed.
We're supposed to finish 24 here in Serenge, Mpushi and Serenge, and altogether it's supposed to be 52 houses.
Central Province Permanent Secretary Milna Mwanakampwe has inspected the houses under construction.
You are spending a minimum of 450 to build something that looks like a kitchen. And so for us, the quality of works, the type of workers that we find on the ground is something that is questionable. It shows that you are playing laissez-faire towards government programs that are meant well to alleviate the poverty.
Shupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Mkushi.
Stay tuned for more stories after this message.
Zambia Today is a program that keeps you informed on various government policies and programs. Join us every Tuesday at 18 hours on Zanis TV, Topstar platform, channel 6 DTT and 458 DTH. Don't miss. Woman Thou Art is a program that offers counsel to the female folk, sharing real-life experiences and providing guidance to the women and young girls on necessary steps and conducts that will help shape and nurture a sober society. Watch Woman Thou Art on Zanis TV every Wednesday at 18:30 hours on the Topstar channel, channel 6 DTT and channel 458 DTH.
Welcome back. You're still watching Zanis News. Government says it is implementing strategic interventions aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability, enhancing economic efficiency, and ultimately boosting private sector-led economic growth through enhanced investments. Minister of Finance and National Planning, Tumbeko Msokotwane, has reiterated government's unwavering commitment to supporting and collaborating with the private sector in the country. The minister said this when he officiated at the Zambia Association of Manufacturers pre-budgeting meeting in Lusaka. Mona Chibende has more in this report.
The Zambia Association of Manufacturers, ZAM, has held a pre-budget meeting aimed at harmonizing the private sector's perspective with the country's national budgetary framework for 2025. Minister of Finance and National Planning, Tumbeko Msokotwane, who officiated at the meeting, highlighted some of the strategic interventions implemented by the government aimed at restoring macroeconomic stability in the country.
On the debt, which of course has been a big barrier to investment attraction in this country. Who wants to go and invest in a country which is seen to be bankrupt? After almost 3 years of hard work, I think we are there. The debt with official creditors done and sealed. The debt with the bondholders, as some of you may have read in the international media yesterday, past few days. After the agreement that we reached with the representatives of the bondholders, those representatives went to present those proposals to the entire body of the bondholders. There is no doubt whatsoever in my mind that the squeeze that we are feeling today is a temporary one, because the major thrust of this economy, as we know, is mining. Okay? The major thrust of the locomotive of this economy is mining. those mining problems, one by one, they've been solved. It has taken long because there were so many legal challenges that were left behind. So many legal challenges that were left with previous investors and so on. That's why it has taken long. But as we speak, we all know Kopani is back online.
And Zambia Association of Manufacturers Vice President highlighted some of the challenges that the manufacturing industry is currently experiencing.
We are acutely aware that the country is currently undergoing a challenging period, influenced by external factors such as climate change, which have negatively impacted the manufacturing sector. These challenges have made it extremely difficult for industry players to operate efficiently. Therefore, the association has organized this meeting to outline some of those challenges for your consideration in the next year's budget. The presentation we will make today summarizes all submissions from the manufacturing sector. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, beyond sector-specific challenges, the manufacturing sector has also been significantly affected by other factors such as the current electricity disruptions due to reduced electricity generation from low water levels. This has forced manufacturers to reduce their production capacity due to the lack of a critical input into the production process, power.
Meanwhile, various members of ZAM presented their submissions.
Be positive. The future is bright. We may have these challenges now, but how we think today will help us have a better future. And then for us at Zambia, food security, local sourcing, and value addition continues to be key. So in terms of the equation, we are looking at VAT. I'll talk more about that. But also, like I said, promoting local production, therein lies taxes and jobs.
So it's not only the smugglers that is a big problem, but illicit alcohol being produced here. And with all the, as the minister mentioned, everything that has been happening with the economy, the recent research that we just saw for the first quarter of 2024, we have been seeing an increase in illicit alcohol consumption, which is not good, not only for the population, because illicit alcohol ends up killing and losing sight and many other implications, but also for the government, because they don't collect any type of tax, and for all the manufacturers. So our first ask is to increase the minimum volume of bottled spirits from 200 ml to 700 ml. This measure would ensure that spirit alcohols are not consumed in situations that would result in personal and public harm, such as a while on the job. Increasing the minimum pack size from 200 ml to 750 ml would also restrict accessibility to alcohol by underage consumers, a demographic that represents significant participation in illicit alcohol consumption in Zambia.
Mnachwende for Zanis in Lusaka.
In education news, government has entered into a partnership with International Coalition of Fellowship, College, Seminary and Universities to offer 100% sponsorship to 5,000 students who are undertaking various courses in 21 diploma programs. Speaking during the signing of Memorandum of Understanding between government and ICCOF, Youth, Sport and Arts Minister Elvis Nkando says government will offer 20% sponsorship, while ICCOF will provide the 80% to the students. More in this report.
Sustainable youth empowerment through education and skills development is on the agenda of the government and stakeholders. This is to ensure that youths are not left behind in national development. Government and ICCOF colleges, seminary and universities are set to support 5,000 youths in various diploma courses across the country. Minister of Youth, Sport and Arts Elvis Nkando says the government will contribute 20% sponsorship.
So our target of 5,000 beneficiaries per annum in various courses, direct and through partner colleges and universities. As I said earlier, the government, through my ministry, will be able to contribute 20% towards tuition fees. to 500 students per annum, which will be drawn from within the 5,000. In view of the foregoing, the college will provide skills training in the following 21 courses.
And ICOF Vice Chancellor Charles Mwape said that the sponsorship program has also been extended to persons living with disabilities.
It's the student that we have on the minister. We have about 207 students that are persons with disabilities who are doing social work and teacher education. These students, with your direction and with the support from the team from your ministry, we agree that we ensure that they are learning without paying.
Angel Mwanza spoke on behalf of the beneficiaries.
The government of the day has, through the able leadership of the President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, has shown profound vision and plan to administer inclusive education under difficult circumstances.
The partnership is a clear demonstration on how the government is committed to empower the youths in various skills training programs. Evelyn Masialeti, reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Now, the Drug Enforcement Commission in Wapula Province has destroyed cannabis plants, dried loose cannabis seeds, and diazepam seized from April 2023 to April 2024. The destruction follows the disposal of court cases involving drugs. Betsheba Katebe has the rest of the story.
The Drug Enforcement Commission in Wapula Province has seized and destroyed cannabis and diazepam. Speaking after the destruction of drugs at the council dump site, Wapula Province Drug Enforcement Commission Head of Education Councillor Daniel Kalimaposo disclosed that the destruction is evidence of what follows after court cases are disposed of.
So as Drug Enforcement Commission, we are enforcing Act number 35, which is Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act. So this process is done whenever we have a lot of exhibits in our exhibit room. We are actually destroying a good number of grams. We have on the cannabis plants, we have about 526,210 grams. And then for dry loose cannabis, we have 51,598.88 grams. And then we also have cannabis seeds weighing 308 grams, 0.21. And then we have diazepam, which is 0.719 grams. So this is actually what we have destroyed as Drug Enforcement Commission. So what we have done today is evident of what we do after cases are disposed of.
The local authority warned the public against using illegal drugs.
I just want to warn the public to say keeping and the use of such drugs, it is illegal and it's also bad for human health. And as such, we are going to collaborate efforts in terms of operations. When we conduct our inspections, we'll be doing the same to ensure that we have a clean environment at the end of it all.
Meanwhile, the National Prosecution Authority has also witnessed the destruction of the illegal drugs.
I'm one of the witnesses from National Prosecution Authority to witness the destruction of the cannabis. Our main role is just merely to prosecute the accused, which are brought before court. From all law enforcement agencies in the district and the province. It is also dangerous to abuse the same drugs, because that's why the government has a role as a department of the Drug Enforcement Commission. They are there to make sure that the public are conducting themselves in order not to abuse the drugs.
Betsheba Katebe reporting for Zanis News in Mansa District in Wapula Province.
In international news, the Arab Republic of Egypt says it is greatly satisfied with the cordial relationship it shares with the Zambian government and has implored the rest of Africa to emulate the partnership. Speaking during the signing ceremony between the Unified Procurement Authority and the Zambia Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency in Cairo, Egypt Today UPA UPA Chairman of Board of Directors, Baha Zedan, said the partnership between the two countries shows credence of new unified and progressive generation emerging in Africa. From Cairo, Pethias Mutale now reports.
It was another busy day for the Zambian delegation in Cairo, Egypt, as the team participates at the Africa Health Exposition. On the sidelines of the expo, Zambia Medicine and Medical Supplies Agency ZAMSA Managing Director Victor Nyasulu signed an amendment to the contract signed on August 31st, 2023 with the Egyptian Authority for Unified Procurement, Medical Supply and the Management of the Medical Technology, UPA. ZAMSA board member Dr. Mahumpu Kafwamfwa lauded the event.
So this extension has given us an opportunity to change, to vary the contract that was initially signed with UPA earlier last year. And what we are doing is changing some quantities of part size as they are for the commodities that are being transported, and also extending the period in which the delivery of some of those items are supposed to be delivered back home.
Earlier, the Zambia Medicine Regulatory Authority ZAMRA signed a new agreement with UPA.
So as far as regulation is concerned, we need to look at aspects such as collaboration when it comes to registration of medicines, when it comes to post-marketing surveillance, clinical trials, inspection, and so forth, and quite a number of areas.
UPA Chairman of Board of Directors, Major General Dr. Baha Aujin Ahmed Mosi Zaiden, lauded the partnership.
When we met with our brothers from Zambia for inspection, was done in Egypt before the shipment of the products.
Indeed, this cooperation between Zambia and Egypt is a true testimony that a new unified progressive generation has emerged in Africa. Pethias Mutale for Zanis News in Cairo, Egypt.
That report from Egypt brings us the end of our news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Government to engage suppliers of solar equipment on task incentives. Government building houses for social cash transfer beneficiaries. Plus, the Drug Enforcement Commission in Wapula destroys cannabis. That's all we had for you from our news desk. On behalf of my sign language interpreter, Joash Kombwe, and the entire Zanis production team, I've been your presenter, Trust Pumba. It's goodbye for now.